as per my records, so all are the SAP users. So you are working on like in different areas. Basically, you have exposure to the business process as well as you are right now using SAP. Okay, I'm not sure about the particular role, but when you are going for the consultant or the developer, so that time, whatever right now you are working, so maybe you are working on any business process. It may be record report or maybe P2P or O2C, or particularly, let's say you are working on controlling side, whatever. So right now, your role as an user is very, very limited. And when you will go for the implementation development point of view, or when you are going to work as a consultant, so that time you have to handle everything. So that is the concept of end-to-end implementations. And for reference purpose, here I have added right now you can see it is a job posting from India, but whenever we will look into the job related to the consulting, always you will find this type of requirement will be there. And as you know that in SAP, always companies are looking here. The consulting experience is required, but that doesn't mean that you really work as a consultant, then only they are going to hire you. So basically what they are looking that someone who have already having the exposure to all the projects, so that with a once they will hire you with a minimal KT, means knowledge transfer KT, so they can deploy in any particular project. So that is why in this training, it's not just, don't think that it's just a training. This training plus project. So that is why I have planned the sessions accordingly. And like if you have checked the content, you will first let's see the requirement here. So this one I have intentionally added here 3 years experience, because always you will find 3 to 4 years minimum experience is required when you go for consulting. And for that, whatever the existing exposure you have or existing experience you have, that is known as your relevant experience. Means, for example, let's say you have 5 years experience in the SAP role, so that will be considered as your SAP user role, or I mean, that is your relevant experience. And with top of that, you need some additional exposure related to the implementation point of view or on different project point of view. If particularly if we will see this particular role, this is a SAP consultant role, and this is related to one IT company, you can see here. And here the requirement is related to, now when we are going to start the career as a consultant, that time you can't say that I have exposure only R2R, or I have exposure related to FI, I have related to means asset. In this way, it will not work, because you need the exposure in all areas, or the consultant will be hired who can handle everything, so that we can deliver the services to the business. So that is how the training is designed, and that is how industry requirement will be there. Particularly if you see the requirement, that someone requirement is 3+ years and strong knowledge on the other like FI and CO, which is our core areas. Although in S4 HANA, we are not saying it is FICO, rather it is S4 HANA finance. But if you're not familiar with certain terms which I'm going to use today, it's absolutely fine, because once we will start working on the system, so properly we will do it systematic way. So certain terms, if you are not familiar, it's absolutely fine. But whenever you find something you are not getting, please interrupt me there. Okay, so here, like you need to have a good exposure in FICO. Not only that, you should have also a good integration knowledge on the other areas, because as you know that when you are working on user role, suppose you are working on P2P, procurement to payment, that means you should have a good understanding about the other modules. No one is expecting that you should be good, I mean, all the configuration knowledge from the side or SD side. Of course, in our training, like we will add 40 to 50% from those areas. Otherwise, we will not able to deliver end-to-end solutions. But if you have a good knowledge on those areas, it is absolutely fine. But the core requirement from the finance consultant point of view, that integration knowledge. So integration, why it is required, once I will proceed today, you will get the idea why integration is required. So any profile you take, any role you take, you will find that integration knowledge is mandatory. Integration with and SD. In this position, SD is required, but gradually if you add some more experience, or you will go for some more senior role, you will find other modules like your PP module integration is also required. So that's why in training that also I have added it. Then certain areas like exposure, if you'll see that companies will not hire the consultant for the simple things. Like for example, let's say GL, AR, AP, right? So those things they will not hire. They want the complete business process solutions who can handle everything. Like particularly when I'm saying accounts receivable, it is part of your order to cash. So if anyone is right now working on that process, you can correlate the things here. If someone is working on the accounts payable, it is part of P2P. Someone is working on R2R, it is part of, I mean, general ledger, it is part of record to report. So that's why as a consultant, we are going to give the solutions on business process, not on any particular submodule. So these are our submodules. Similarly, like asset accounting is one submodules, right? Product costing, that is again, although we are considering it is submodule, but again, product costing also vast areas are there. Once I will proceed today, you will get the idea, and the profitability analysis. That means you can see here that everything is required. So like one particular area, you know that will not work. So when you go for consulting, you should have exposure, you should have a good command on all areas. Another one you will find intentionally here, I have added less experience. So that is why here you can see should have experience on one-to-one implementation. Now, this implementations, if you have real experience, then it is very good. But as you are going to start your consulting career, so you don't have the real end-to-end implementation. So in that case, if you can justify your knowledge with capstone projects, then that is also fine. Companies are also considering the capstone project. So that is why in this training, 3 projects I have planned. So in every role, you will find this type of requirement will be there. One implementations, 2 implementations. Sometimes they will ask like one end-to-end implementation exposure, one rollout implementation. So this is how the requirement will be there. So in different job postings, you will find this type of requirement will be there. So to get the idea, intentionally, I have kept this profile open, and here it's only 3 years. In these 3 years experience, you can see the requirement. And if you're going to add more experience, then obviously requirement will be high. Now coming to the course content point of view. So if you have checked the course content, which I already shared earlier, you will find that in this content, like 10 weeks, okay, so I mean 10 weekends, you can say, where we are going to do the, that you can say learning point of view. Whenever you are going to configure something, or whenever we are going to design the business process, so that time, don't think that it is a learning, or I mean training I'm doing, think it's a project. So every business process wise, I'm going to give you the assignment. Let's say first unit we have completed, so I'm going to give the first unit assignment, which you need to complete in the system, and you need to submit your test documents. So like this, every topic wise, or rather unit wise, you are going to get the assignments, and those you need to complete, and accordingly we can proceed. This is the simple learning point of view. Once all the areas, let's say you've completed the configurations, everything you have completed, then parallelly you can start working on the projects. Again, that will be individual. Training will be in a batch, but project work will be individual. So which you need to complete your own, whatever project you are going to get. And the second part, which I have planned here, that is related to projects. Because if you are not going to have multiple project exposure, obviously it will not work, or you are not going to get the consulting role. And wherever it is, whether it is India, whether it is USA, whether it is Europe, wherever it is, the same requirement, I mean, same strategy is applicable. Every company want that, we want the settled consultant who can handle the project independently. Although you are going to start your career as associate consultant, but requirement is that, our mindset of the employer is that we want finished consultants, means who can handle all these things, everything. I mean, all. I mean, you have a very manageable knowledge. You can't say that I am going to join here as new learner point of view. No, it won't work here. So that's why second part, six week or 8 weeks, you can say. So there we are going to complete 3 projects. And in this segment, my role will be minimal. Your role will be like you need to complete it, because I'm just going to mentor here. So in this case, whatever the project blueprint documents you are going to get, right? When we are doing the normal training, so that time each and everything I'm going to demonstrate, and accordingly I will give you the assignment which you need to complete. But when we will be there in the project phase, that time I'm going to give you the business documents. I will show you some business documents also. So that time you need to complete the project, whatever you understood from the business documents, and of course I will guide to you on that areas. You need to complete all the UATs and all the test documents, and here you need to submit. And this one, you can also prepare one proper project portfolios, where you can, that one you can link in your job portals. You can show that in your LinkedIn profile, and it will be easy for you to get the different roles related to the consulting, or like companies, they can reach you if you are going to have a good project portfolios. And this is how it is planned. So first project will be the end-to-end implementation. Second project will be rollout. All right, third project will be the support role. So in this way, it is going to help you for your job point of view. So I hope you got some idea that how it is launched. Now coming to the topic wise. Okay, so how we are going to start. So as I said, as a consultant, so let's say, for example, one company is going to hire you. The next question is, which company is going to hire us for a company point of view? Right now, you are working as an end user. So you are working end user maybe in any IT services companies or any product-based companies. Similarly, when you are going to join as a consultant, either you are going to join as IT company, of course, the target will be the IT companies, and other one will be the product based. IT companies, already we know that, who are the service provider related to SAP. So there you are going to join. When you will join any IT company, that time obviously the package will be better, the job profile will be better, you are going to have better exposure. So that time the requirement will be, you are going to join as associate consultant, and you should have the end-to-end knowledge, end-to-end implementation knowledge. End-to-end means from scratch till delivery, everything you can manage. And you should have the rollout knowledge, because maybe they are going to put it in a rollout project initially, or maybe they will be there in the support project. But I'm not targeting the support project, because the after training, the knowledge what you must have, so at least you can start your career with rollout project, or if you are good in your interview, then immediately maybe you can get the implementation project. This is if you are going to join any IT company. If you're going to join any product based company, so in product based companies means that company is not giving the services, IT services, rather they have some product. Let's say Hyundai, that is a manufacturing company, their main product is automobiles or different products, but they need the SAP consultant for their day-to-day support work. For their, there also will find some small rollout will be there, maintenance work will be there, right? So for that also they are going to, they have internal IT team is also there, so there maybe you can join. But that time end-to-end implementation already there already, like for your example, let's say your company where currently you are working, in that company already implementation done, some maintenance work will be there, some rollout will be there, sometimes some upgradations will be there, this type of requirement will be there. Some people, they don't like IT companies, because IT companies having their own challenges, although return is good. But if you are not familiar, if you are not favored like IT companies, maybe in that case you can join product based company. So that is also, personally I don't think product based company you should join initial of your career, because here you are going to get a good learning phase, you will get different exposure, different project. But if you are getting a good profile in product based company also, you may consider. Okay, so this is how the two areas where you are going to apply for your consulting role. Both companies are good, depends to whom which one is suitable. Sometimes even for example, let's example Ford. Now Ford, one company where they have lots of requirements, in that case they need someone as a consultant, not only on the basis of SAP skill. For example, let's say there is a position is required, that cost controller. That means they want someone who is good in the costing side, who can manage the business also, plus SAP knowledge is required. Now you will find that what the package Ford is going to give, it is better than any IT companies. So maybe in that case you can choose the product based companies. So that you will see that time, and once we will go for that phase, that time I will explain. But this will be again personal or individual choice. Okay, now coming to the areas where, like, how we are going to start. So I'm just going to give some idea about the implementations point of view, and similar business process we are going to take here, company configuration point of view. Demonstration point of view, I will take one business process which we are going to configure. For example, let's say this is one business process. Like this, any business process we can take. And this business process, if you'll see, it is like everything. Now, if we will take this raw documents or this document, initially you will not get anything here, because it's there in the business language. Once we will proceed further, or once we'll start learning the things, or we will understand the business process, then after that obviously you will get it. So the approach will be, first we will take the business process, because our base is always business process. We have to understand business process, because as a consultant or as a developer, we should know why we are going to do something, right? What is the benefit to the users, or what is the benefit to the business, right? And if you are going to do this system customizations in this way, then how it is going to help the users, and what is the benefit to the management, means how it is going to simplify the business process, reporting point of view, how it is going to be helpful. So first we will crack the business process, we will identify the business process. Once it is done, then we will find out what is our requirement. First we understood any business process. Suppose let's say we are going to configure our ledger concept. So we need to understand what exactly the ledgers, why we need to the ledgers, how many ledgers are required, right? So only with standard ledgers we are going to continue, or we need the extension ledgers, right? So that not required that in every implementations we need the standard ledgers and we need the extension ledgers. So as per the business need, we have to take the decisions, and of course we have to discuss with the business. So once we understood everything, then we need to find out how we are going to plan the system configurations. FI part is standard. Some areas like your GL, all these things will be standard. In every implementations, this type of standard system related configurations you are going to do. But when you are going to work on the core areas like your management accounting or nothing but your controlling, that time the same thing we can do in 5 different way. For example, cost calculations we can do in make to stock, make to order, in different way we can do that. So that time we have to take the decisions on the, of course, we need to discuss with the business that how we are going to deliver the solutions so that their purpose will be solved. So once we identify the requirement, we identify the gap, then after that we are going to configure in the system. Then we will go for the testings. Testing will be there in a normal learning point of view, means normal demonstration point of view, and in the project point of view. Difference will be the when I will do the demonstration, that time I am going to do, when I will give you the assignments or you are going to work on the project, your project, that time you have to do it independently. Till the time you have not tested, assume that everything is correct. Whatever you have configured, everything is correct. Once you are going to prepare your test documents and then you are going to do the testings, that time you will find that what is your expected result. If it is means your actual result, if it is expected result, I am looking here, this will be my reports. So I am going to get a cost center report, I am going to get a profit center report, I am going to get the GL report, I am going to get a balance reports. If I am getting everything as it is, then I can say that my configurations or everything is perfect. So in that case, my 100% implementation or a successful implementation is there. But it's not possible that always you are going to get the 100% result. Definitely some areas it will be failed. In project also, we are also facing the similar issues. So whatever it is failed or whatever the activities failed, whatever the transaction codes are failed, that also we are going to make a list. And again, we need to rework on those areas. Then finally, we will go for the retesting point of view, then the expected result will be there. And here we are going to follow the activate methodology. Okay, so I hope you got some idea about the progress, how we are going to proceed here, right? So whenever you are going for any implementations, first we have to understand that what are the solutions we are going to give, means what are the departments are involved here. We will take our first example, that will be a manufacturing companies, because in a manufacturing company, many things we can include here. And when you will go for manufacturing, even in your organization also, you will find that we have different departments are there. You have procurement department is there, you have sales department is there. If it is manufacturing, then production department must be there. Of course, the finance will be there, management accounting is there. So all these departments in SAP language, these are modules. So that means what are the modules we are going to use here? As I said, when you will go for end-to-end implementation, so it's not only FICO. Also, we have to work on other modules, which I have highlighted here. Procurement point of view, MM. All the MM is the old word. That right now we are saying it's procurement module. In old technology or in ECC technology, we used to say it is material management. Now it is known as your sourcing and procurement module. We are going to sell the product, so SD module is required, and of course all the integrations also applicable here. Here one more module is required because when we are going to work on product costing, so PP module is also required. Production module or production planning module is also required. Okay, so these are the different modules we are going to work. In project, when you will work as a consultant, that time you are going to get the support with the other consultants. Like maybe you are handling the finance. When I'm saying finance, by default, costing is also included. So you are going to work on finance and costing or finance and controlling. Other consultants will be there who are going to work with you, SD, production, all these consultants will be there. But learning point of view or training point of view, when we are saying that we are going to deliver the end-to-end, then other consultants are not there. So that part also you need to configure, because if you are going to skip, for example, let's say we have not configured the procurement module, MM module. So when you don't have the procurement module or in your company code, when you have not configured the MM part, the procurement part, obviously when you are going to create the PO, it will not work. When you are going to process the GR, it will not work. Our purpose is to see the integrations. So other than MM module, so your procurement is not going to work. As a finance consultant, you can't say that I'm only going to configure the AP part because that is part of your accounts. Accounts payable is part of your FI, but AP will be there, or vendor invoice. Once you are going to have the open invoice, then only you are going to make the payment. So you can't say that I will just do the bank configurations and we will go for the AP invoice. We are going to post it manually without purchase order and we will test it. It in reality, it will not work. Some areas will be there where we are going to post non-PO invoice, but in reality, always the invoice is going to generate from the procurement module. So MM has to be there. Another area you will find that if you have not configured MM, then how you are going to do the manufacturing? Because when you are going to manufacture, you should have the procurement, right? Then only we are going to do the manufacturing, because ultimately we will purchase the raw material and we will issue to the production. Without PP, again, manufacturing is not possible. So without manufacturing, without PP, again, cost of production calculation is not possible. So that is why as an ERP consultant or as an ERP consultant, SAP is nothing but ERP. So we are going to give the best solutions to the customer, to our customer. So that is why the end-to-end business process need to be connected with each other, or indirectly you can say that all your modules are connected with each other. So that is why I have listed here. If this company is going to go for SAP implementations, that means these are the different modules required. And whatever is required for our completion of the project or completion of our training, those part we have to configure. It may be MM, it may be SD, it may be PP. Okay, so these configurations, I'm going to do the demonstration. And same way, you have to also do the configurations, right? Okay, let's start with our first business process. So that is from the end-to-end implementation point of view. I already explained this business process. So we are going to give the solutions related to record to report, related to order to cash, related to asset, related to procure, when to pay, and product costing and COPA. But first thing, when you are going to start your work, training point of view, as well as in the job point of view, if it is a new implementation project, you need to identify the org structures. Even right now, when you are working, you are also using multiple components related to organization structure. If you are working on the SD point of view, that means you are using sales organization, you are using distribution channel, right? So you are using maybe divisions, maybe you are using right now plant. So these are nothing but your components related to organization structure. If you are working finance point of view, then you are using company code, you are using profit centers, you are using business areas. So these are your components related to organization structure. So same is applicable for us also. So first we need to configure the organization structure, and as per the organization structure, we need to do the system customizations. So once we will understand the system, so immediately we will not start with the SAP technical things. First, we will understand what is this product, what is difference between HANA, S4 HANA, right? So how this new system came into the picture, what is the old technology? Because let's say you join as somewhere as a support consultant and currently they are using ECC2. So that's why ECC also we can't ignore at this moment. Although obviously we are going to focus on our new technology, that is S4 HANA, but the old technology ECC we can't ignore. So that also we have to understand. So the first weekend we are going to concentrate on that, about the technology, about the product. So once you understood that one, then next we are going to understand the activate methodology. So we will fully focus on the activate methodology, and also we'll do a comparison with the old methodology of implementation, that is ASAP methodology. But of course, we are going to follow the activate methodology. So that once we will understand in which phase, what are the activity, what work we are going to do. So what is there in the explore phase, what is there in the discover phase, what is there in the realize phase. So those things, because when you will be there in the project and when you are going to conduct various workshops with your customers, when you will have a regular interaction with your customer, so these terms very often you will find, or when you will be joined as a associate consultant, your senior consultant, when you are going to participate in the workshop, these terms very often you will find. Okay, so that time you don't like, I don't want you to feel isolated that what are these, I don't know. So that's why I said in the beginning, don't think it's training, it's the project. Okay, so once you understood the different phases related to activate methodology and in which phase what we are going to do, when we are going to do the cutover activities, when we are going to prepare UIDs, so all these things, once it is verified, then next we will identify our requirements. Because randomly we are not going to do something in the system, right? So if you are going to do something, then there is some logic should be there. So that is why first we are going to identify our requirement in the form of org structure point of view, whether we will go for one plant, whether we will go for multiple plants, whether we need here profit centers or we don't need profit center. It's not mandatory that profit center will be there in every implementations. It's not mandatory profit center will be there. Maybe they will go for the COPA. So because COPA is multi-dimensional reporting, profit center is single dimensional reporting. Manufacturing companies always prefer COPA than profit center. But if it is service-based companies, you will find profit center is very helpful. So that's why it depends what type of business process we are going to take here. Again, learning point of view, everything we have to incorporate in our implementation point of view or in our configuration point of view. So once we understood the organization structure, then we will go to the next part. Whatever I'm explaining right now, I'm also simultaneously, I will show you in the SAP system. But again, no need to worry about this because once I will go to the configuration point of view, systematically we will do just very high level. I'm just giving an overview here so that you will get the idea how we are going to do here. Okay, so I'm showing here some data related to my old batch configurations. If again, I'm repeating, if you're not getting anything, it's absolutely fine. Just try to understand very high level. You just focus here on the business process, like whether, let's see whether all the business process are covered or not this in this particular program. Okay, so let me show you the organization structure related to one implementation point of view. And we are going to use here the hybrid system where we are going to have both on-premises and the cloud. I have one dedicated session will be there on deployment. There I will show you what are the different deployment options are there. What is on-premises, what is cloud, which customer should go for on-premises, which customer should go for cloud, or which customer will go for both. So everything I will cover. Right now, whatever I'm showing here, this one I'm showing here on-premises system. And right now, even maybe when you are working, either you are using on-premises, which is nothing but your GUI-based interface, or you are using Fiori. That means you are using the cloud. If you are currently using ECC, then 100% you are using on-premises only. If you are using S4, then maybe you are using Fiori or you are using on-premises. Training point of view, we are going to have access to both the platform on-premises and Fiori, both you are going to use here. So let me log into the on-premises system. I'm not going to do any configuration. I'm just showing here that organization structure we need to configure in a particular company code I'm going to show you. And this company code is my previous batch configuration data. Similarly, in our training also or in our program also, we are going to configure and also you are going to get your assignments need to be completed. This system is S4HANA 2023 system. Okay, which is a HANA database. If you are already familiar with HANA, maybe you can link or you can connect this one. If you don't know what is HANA, it's absolutely fine. Once I will start the system architecture, that time I will explain. Okay, and the product is S4HANA 2023 versions related to on-premise. S4HANA 2023. Okay, right now, being user, might be you are working only with the easy access. So if you're part of your accounts receivable team, then you are working here under this account financial accounting accounts receivable. Many activities you are doing here. Maybe you have super user rights, then you are involved in the master data. If you are just only having the end user rights, then you are working on the data entry part. If you are working on accounts payable, then here you are working. Or if you are working on the GL part of R2R, then you are working. So basically you are working on the front end. But as a developer, our 90% of work in the backend means we are going to do the system customizations, and that is why this training is required. Okay, so you are going to configure here the things system very quickly. I access this one, don't worry, systematically I will show you. Just I'm showing here, if you ever work on the IMG, means someone is working on the support role right now, then definitely you must have access to the IMG where we are going to do the maximum configurations and all. Okay, so back to the topic, organization structure. We will not take anything SAP standard, although SAP already delivering the company codes. learning point of view, but we are not going to take anything from the SAP delivered one. Each and everything, whatever we are going to, or it is required to be configured, we are going to configure it from the scratch. If you copy from the SAP delivered one, or if you are going to use SAP delivered one, then you will not get a chance at this moment when you are in the learning phase. So that time, don't copy anything from the SAP delivered. Maybe you will save the time in that way, but I will suggest don't copy. At least configure your own first company code end to end, your own. Later, maybe you can copy from your configurations, so that you have a good command, because when you will copy from the standard settings, many things will be automatically copied and later you will be confused. And my demonstration point of view, I'm not going to use any SAP standard. Each and everything, whatever it is required, we will configure I will configure our own, and I'm expecting from you. Okay, so I'm going to take here one company code, that is Z601. Company code, I'm sure you are all are familiar because we are working right now on SAP. And you can see this is our organization structure. And this organization structure includes everything. This includes company code. This includes my controlling area, management accounting point of view, for profitability analysis point of view. My operating concern is also there. So this one where we are going to do the internal cost and revenue analysis at this level. FI related reports we are going to generate at company code level. And sorry, it's controlling area. So management accounting related stuff. Basically, in management accounting, you are going to calculate the cost, that is product costing. Either you are going to manage your overheads, so that is your overhead management. So those are nothing but your cost center accounting order. So those are nothing but your overheads. Or you are going to work on the product costing, overhead management, or you are going to do the profitability analysis, internal profitability analysis, which is nothing but your margin analysis. So when you are doing external profitability analysis, which we are saying that income statement, that will be at company level or company code level. So it is your FI data. If you are going to do a profitability report generating COPA report, so that is at controlling level. Okay. And profitability report, that is at operating concern level, and product costing, that is related to controlling area. Similarly, we have logistic settings will be there. Now, plant, you must be thinking it is related to procurement, but plant we are going to use in many areas. Plant will be used in procurement, in sales, in production. So that's why plant is not only related to procurement, it's logistic general. So we have a separate node is there, that is for logistic general. And this plant is very important, not only for the logistic consultant. Plant is also very, very important for our CO point of view, if you are going for material ledger, and which is right now huge demand, material ledger in the new technology. Okay, so for that purpose, when we are going to define your valuation area, so plant is also very essential. So under this plant, some settings are there, or org structure settings are there, purchase point of view, some settings are there, sales point of view, some settings are there. So this is how the organization structure need to be designed end to end. Now, in real project, the plant will be handled by maybe logistic consultant or consultant or SD consultant, or if one consultant is managing both the things, so they will configure. FI config part will be handled by the FI consultant. CO part will be handled by the CO consultant. But nowadays, companies are not ready to hire multiple consultants. So they want like one consultant they want to hire for finance and costing both. One consultant they want to hire for the logistic point of view, and SD both. So that is why always you will find the requirement is that if you have multiple skills, means multiple module skills, then it is good. Earlier companies used to hire two consultants, one for FI, one for CO. But now we need more demand, like one consultant who can handle both FI and CO. If you can handle more, then it is very good. Okay, so that approach is required. So once the organization structure is completed, right, then we are going to do the some general settings. Now, general settings means immediately your books of accounts is not ready for the posting point of view. So when you are going to record the transactions, before that, you need to have some parameter settings, like you need to define your financial year, you are going to define your document settings, you are going to define your field settings, you are going to define your ledger settings. These are the settings which are not related to one business process. It is related to all business process. Okay, for example, when you are going to define the leading ledger, now, this leading ledger level, we are going to run multiple reports. Your financial reports will be generated, your accounts receivable will be generated, payable, asset, everything we are going to generate at leading ledger level. So when you are going to define the ledger settings, It is for all business process. So those part we need to configure. So first we completed org structures, then we completed our general settings, which we are saying the global parameter settings. Once it is done, then only we are going to start with our business process. Okay, and the first business process we are going to start record to report, because this business process we are going to, like, whenever we are going to recording of a transaction, that is our first point. Before that, of course, whatever the configuration is required, we need to configure. But recording of transaction, and it will end with your reporting. So recording two reports, all the reconciliations, so everything will come under your record report. Now, when we are going to post a transaction in the FI system, for that, when suppose I will post one expense entry. So when I will post expense entry, I will debit one GL account, I will credit one GL account. Maybe I will credit the bank account. If I'm not crediting the bank account, I'm going to credit the vendor. The moment I'm going to credit vendor, then it becomes your accounts payable. So everything will come under record report. So we are going to start with this business process, and we will conclude the program with this business process, because everything is coming under your record report. Okay, so right now, if you are working on R2R team, then what are the areas you are currently working? You are posting various transactions, maybe you are involved in the reconciliations, maybe you are doing some integrations work. So everything is coming under your record report. You are preparing your trial balance reports, everything is record report. Now, being user, you are just going to play with the reports. You are executing some reports or some data, and you are getting some outputs. But in backend, all these things already configured by the consultant. So when you are going to enter F01 and you are getting the financial report, that means in backend someone designed already this report. So that is why you are getting your P&L balance sheet or FSB is designed. Suppose let's say user is going to run the depreciation program. So FIB executed, I'm getting the output. So in backend already someone configured it. So that part we have to configure here. So here I have listed few activities being record to report, or from the record to report point of view, certain activities we are going to do. For example, let's say we are going to do our normal postings. So when I'm going to post the transactions, what are the modules are involved here? If it is a pure FI entry where I'm going to use only just GL accounts, that means we are going to work on the FI, and particularly it is our GL module. But along with that, if I'm going to add the cost object, and normally we are going to do that. So when we'll post a transaction, one cost center is included here. So in that case, now CO module is involved here. So it's GL is FI is your module, then it will be CO is second module, controlling module. And again, within this CO, which submodule we are going to use? In this transaction, if I'm going to use cost center. So let me show you one document. FB03 transaction code. So here I'm going to take a document. I'm sure you are familiar with this document types and all, because anyway, you are extracting various reports, but we need to understand the functionality related document types when we are going to do the configurations. Okay, so let me take here one document. Suppose let's say this document. Now I can see here one document is posted. This, when we will see this transaction is posted, it is purely related to your transaction posting, means it is related to your recording of the transactions. Now in this postings, you can see profit center is there, segment is there. Now this information user has not entered. I'm sure in your organization also, when any finance user is posting the transactions, manually they are not going to record the transactions with the required profit center or required cost center. It's expense line, and you can see one cost center is there. So the moment additional account informations are added, because being finance user, I know that what are the GL accounts I'm going to use. So these are the GL accounts I have entered here. Automatically, because of our configurations, in every line item, you can see cost center is there. You can see profit center is there, segment is there. So that means this transaction is recorded with FI, GL, CO plus CCA, cost center accounting. Now, cost center accounting is one of your very, like you can say, small submodule, because once you will record this cost, one cost center is recorded, job is not over there. Finance activity is completed, finance transaction posted, cost transferred to the cost center. After that, anything which we are going to do, it is not the responsibility of FI team. The CO team is going to do that. User going to, I'm saying, the costing team is going to do the cost allocations, because every expense need to be linked with your activities. Either it is part of when you are going to calculate the cost. So main component of your cost is material cost. If it is not material cost, then it is related to your conversion cost, because your raw materials automatically will not be converted into finished stock. So we have to convert it, means various type of activities involved, some labor activities, machinery activities, somewhere we are doing welding, somewhere we are doing assemble work, somewhere we are doing some testings. So various type of activities are involved. So activity related cost will be there. All this cost is captured through the FI data, means any finance user. We paid salary, so that is related to a finance activities, but that salary should be converted into labor cost. That will be there in your controlling point of view. So that's why CO is very critical and very interesting also. Okay, so transaction posted with cost center. Now, one cost center is recorded. Now here you can see, this is, I can see here that cost is recorded with the cost center 20001. Now, I am finance user. I posted the transaction. My job is over. Now cost is recorded with the cost center. Let's take the cost center. In this particular cost center, you can see the total cost is showing 0. Means some activities are completed already. It's already completed the entire process. So that's why it's showing 0. Initially, when we have recorded the cost, we transferred value from FI to CO. Then after that, the cost from that particular department should be transferred to other receivers. Maybe we will transfer this one to production order for the manufacturing point of view, or maybe we will transfer to other cost centers, right? So as per the business need, something further we have to do. This part, when this cost allocation will be there, if I will add here the date, you will find on a particular date, transaction was recorded. So you can see here that on 7th October, the expense was recorded through finance. If you'll see here, this its source you will find in the finance record. Okay, so this 1000 you can see it is recorded here, 7th October. Then in month end, 31st October, although 31st October we have not reached, but it's completed. So on 31st October, cost is allocated to some other receivers. So that's why you can see a minus line is here. So after this cost allocation for this month, the cost center or this particular cost center job is over. This cost we have transferred to somewhere. I need to see where we have transferred here. Okay, so let me check the document where I have transferred this cost. This cost I have transferred to multiple cost centers. Like this is my sender cost center and these are my production related cost center. Because all your activities are linked with my production cost center, and from there we have transferred the cost to production orders. So this is how the operation is designed, and exactly we are doing the same thing. Now these activities, this cost allocation is the responsibility of the CO team. So initially cost record expense FI user recorded the GL transaction with one particular cost object as cost center. Then from from that department, we have transferred the cost to another cost centers or multiple cost center. Then from there, we transferred the cost to the respective cost object as production order from the manufacturing point of view. So if it is material cost, it will come from the MM module. If it is activity cost, then this is how it will come, or it will be your overhead cost, right? Then when you are going to do these activities, then there is a reconciliation between two modules is required, FICO reconciliation. So that is also one activity is there. Right now, if you are using the old technology, I'm sure some users are currently doing the FICO reconciliation. But in S4HANA or in this new technology, that will be an automated process. Reconciliation means comparing two set of informations. FI data should match with your CO data. So that is also part of your record to report or the CO integrations. Okay, so CO reconciliations. So I was talking about the allocations and all. These are cost allocations. So it may be cost center allocation, order settlement. So that time this CO. So initially one transaction posted from the FI user, then multiple activities we are going to do here. When we are saying that we are going to do the cost allocation, it is part of your record report. But this cost transferred to a particular production order, that is known as your cost of production calculation. In end, you will find that everything is connected with each other. So actual data transferred from a different module like FI module. If it is material, then it is initiated from the MM module. But in end, you will find that it is there in your product cost. It is there in your manufacturing cost. It is there in your cost of goods sold. So here various type of activities which we are going to do under your record report. But here I've just listed few areas which we are going to do. But once we'll do it, like many things we have to do here. Under this record report, we are also, you can see one module is there, submodule is there, that is your asset accounting. Somewhere a separate team is there for asset accounting. Somewhere you will find that asset accounting is part of your record report. Business point of view, it is part of record report. Also, SAP is considering this one is a separate, your, like it's some module, but it's a separate area because asset is very vast. Many business processes are involved with the asset accounting. So that's why it's separately is there. And if you check the my content also, you will find that asset accounting is separate, like many, like it's a very lengthy one you will find. Let's take that one. Let's do it. Yeah, asset accounting. Okay, so if you count this one, you can see many business processes are involved with this asset accounting, and many integrations are also involved here for this asset accounting point of view. Okay, but in total, it is part of your record to report. So if I'll summarize, record to report includes your general ledger accounting, your profit center accounting, your all the cost allocations. When I'm saying cost allocation, it is part of your cost center accounting, and particularly from these areas. Configuration point of view, under this controlling, cost center accounting. So two terms or two words I have written here. One is related to cost allocation, means the source is a cost center. So initially cost expense was like, very often you will find business users are using two terms. One is your expense and another one is cost. Any FI user, when they are recording the transaction, they will use the word expense. Once you user will consider that one is cost. Okay, for example, salary as an expense, labor as cost. Now, when I'm saying salary, we have one GL account, that is salary GL account, which is part of your P&L. Some financial transactions are recorded and cost transferred to, or the expense transferred to the particular department, let's say HR department, admin department, whatever. But when I'm saying labor cost, now labor cost, you won't find any GL account available in your FI report or in your chart of account. There is nothing called labor cost. Labor cost, which is generated within controlling, within our management accounting. Multiple costs combined together and it is linked with your labor. For example, salary will be there, medical expenditure will be there, HR will be there, various type of human resource related expense combined together, and that is cost. So when it is cost, the term is related to controlling. When it is expense, it is related to FI. Okay, so this is how like the business terms are involved here. It is not SAP specific, it is general in business or in domain we are using these terms. Okay, so when it is cost allocation, it is related to cost center accounting, controlling cost center accounting, and being user. So this one is the backend one, IMG system designing, and so this one is your easy access. So right now, if you are working on the controlling module, then in that case, you are working here in one of the module or in multiple modules. So this is your cost center accounting. So various type of activities we are doing. If suppose I am responsible for month-end activities related to cost allocations, then I am working on these parts. Okay, so this cost allocations. So any of the method I'm going to use here. Now for user, it is very easy. I'm just going to run a report and execution and cost will be allocated. Only this task I need to perform. But in backend, the developer or the consultant need to design the business process in such a way that once the user is going to run it, then automatically system is going to do the cost allocations. Okay, when it is settlement, so here you can see another term is there, settlement. Settlement means it is the order. Now when we are saying that order can be anything. It may be internal order, it may be production orders, or it may be any other cost object. So when it is order, that will be settled. If anyone right now working on internal order, which is configuration point of view, this is your submodule internal order, and user point of view, you will find that order settlement. If order is related to controlling CO module, then in that case, you are working on this part, internal order and all the activities related to order. If order is initiated from the PP module, then that time you are working under the production module. That means PP orders, which are generated in the PP module, production orders, process orders. Process orders are part of PPPI module, and production orders are part of production module. Those will be initiated here and it will be settled here under this CO module, because always the cost settlement part is responsibility of the CO team. Cost calculation is, we have a separate business process there, that is product costing. But all these month-end activities are part of your record report, and mainly FI users are working FI part and CO users are working on the CO part. In total, we are saying that it is our record report. So profitability analysis also part of record report. If I am responsible for external reporting, that means I will do the P&L. If I am responsible for internal reporting, then I will work on the COPA. So everything is part of your record report. Asset accounting, one vast area that I will explain separately. But other than that, any question? Till now, whatever I explained. Anything in general questions, technical, anything. Any question?
Nothing as of.
Okay. Now coming to asset accounting. As a finance consultant, asset accounting is very, very important. Either you take interview point of view, always you will find good questions from the asset accounting. Certification point of view, this topic alone, it is going to give more than 12% questions. And project always will find many business processes are related to asset accounting. So this asset accounting, when we are going to purchase the asset, one option is I can purchase the asset through FI module. So that time I'm going to debit the asset, I'm going to credit the vendor, and I'm going to post asset. But let's say asset will be purchased through the procurement module. Okay, we will have the PO, then through PO we are going to purchase the asset, which is normally we are doing. So in that case, FI MM integration or asset MM integration is also required. Now, when we are going to purchase the asset and advance is also involved here, means we are going to pay some advance, then only supplier is going to deliver the asset. Now, AP is involved here. Payment part is also involved here. We have not purchased it. We are just paying the advance. So advance part is involved, means asset procurement will be there through MM module. FIMM integration is required, asset procurement point of view, but advance is also involved here. So that means special GL transactions are involved before procurement of asset. So accounts payable is involved here. So that's why same asset purchase, how we are going to do. Just we are going to post a simple asset acquisition entry, or we are going to make it complex, like by adding multiple other business process or other areas. Okay, so that's why when you are face the interview, you will not find the questions like how to purchase the asset, F-90 entry. That is the user activities. They will put the conditions, or they will add one scenario. As per that scenario, what you are going to do, or what are the customizations are required in that case. When you are going to face the user interview, that time it's very simple. Like what are the T codes you are working, or what is the activities you are doing. But when you are going for development or consultant interview, and particularly if it is an implementation project, so detailed questions will be asked. So that is related to business process, that is related to your previous projects, that is related to your customizations, that is related to your enhancements, multiple things, questions will be there. Now let me show you here few documents related to asset accounting. And this is your user part related to asset accounting. Financial accounting, and this one is your fixed asset accounting. Asset management also we are saying fixed asset accounting. When we are going to work on asset accounting, you will find many accounting standards are there, local gaps are there, international accounting standards are there. So as per those norms, we need to do the customizations. That means we have to go for a company law point of view, asset valuations will be there. We are going for tax point of view, asset valuations will be there. So that means in this case, parallel accounting is involved. Not only parallel accounting, parallel valuation is also involved. Because when we are going for depreciation calculation for tax, then we have to apply those rules. When we will go for company law point of view asset valuation, we need to apply those rules. So first, we need to define here that how many books of accounts from the asset accounting point of view we are going to maintain. And in SAP terminology, which we are saying that chart of depreciation. One is your chart of account, that is nothing but your list of GL, and another one is your chart of depreciation. You can use this, you can connect these terms if right now you are working on asset accounting. So under this chart of depreciation, you will find multiple depreciation areas. Now, how many depreciation areas are required? It depends how you have configured the ledgers. Okay, now let me check here the company code which I'm showing here. So in that company code, how many ledgers I have configured? Again, don't get confused here. Two terms. One is your ledger and another one is your GL. GL is nothing but the accounts. Means when you are posting the transactions, which accounts you are going to use, whether it is manual posting, whether it is integrated postings. Ledger is your books of accounts. So how many ledgers we are going to use? It depends how many accounting principles we are going to follow. How many books of accounts we are going to follow, which is nothing but your part of parallel accounting. Now in this company code, I'm showing here right now the table view, and also it is highly required as a consultant, you should have a good understanding on the table point of view. Maybe as a functional consultant, we are a functional consultant, right? So as a functional consultant, table is not that important. But in reality, when you are going to work on project, table knowledge is highly required, because when you are going to interact with your ABAP or when you are going to prepare functional specifications, okay, and that time it's highly required that you should have a good knowledge on the technical side also. No one is expecting that you are going to write the codes, you are going to write the program. That is not our areas. But you should have a fair idea about the tables, the fields. So that's why any report I am going to show you, general practice I'm saying, suppose I'm going to show you a GL report. So first I will show you a GL report. Let's say I have run the FAGL L03, or let's say I have executed FBL3, and functional way, first I'm going to show you the report. Then we will find out the source, because somewhere some table is updated, couple of fields are updated, because of that only your user is getting the information. So automatically, because if you try to by heart the table, it is not possible. You will not able to remember. You will get confused. But if you in practice, if you add the tables, like every time whenever you are checking the report, you try to find out the source. Any configurations you did, try to find out the source where it's saved, and then automatically you will remember the table. So only by regular practice only you will involve this one. In last moment, if you try to, before your interview, you will try to remember the table, it won't work. So right now I'm going to show you the table, and here I'm going to check for this particular company code how many ledgers are configured. Then we will see how many depreciation areas required. So company code is Z601 and execute. So here I can see three ledgers are there. One is your 0L. I'm sure you must have idea on this one, because in every implementation you will find the leading ledger. If you're working on the new GL, then leading ledger, irrespective of ECC or S/4HANA, whatever system right now you are using, leading ledger is there. If right now you are using a very old system like 4.7 or 4.6 system, then obviously ledger is not there. But I'm not sure. I'm sure no one is using that old system now. So 0L, that is our leading ledger, and it is connected with a one accounting principle, which is local GAAP. So one depreciation area is required for that. Another ledger is N1, which I have created. That is my non-leading ledger, which is connected with my tax valuation point of view. So another depreciation area is also required for that. N3 is another ledger is required. This is our extension ledger. For that asset accounting point of view, no depreciation is required. So that means in these settings, 100% is required. I need to have two depreciation areas required, because parallelly I'm using two different depreciation, two different accounting principles and two different depreciation, two different ledgers with two different accounting principles. Now let me show you the asset report.
Hello, sir. In
Yeah,
this
sorry.
context, in this context, sir, one question I have, that here as a 0L, it has been observed that local gap has been taken. So it may happen that in like say some intercompany are in, if some intercompanies are involved, so there might be some other requirements as well, right? Like some country are referring to the IFRS and all. So on that case, that the tax uh, you know tax ledgers will be different for uh, different what I say, that ledgers, or it will be
Mm,
it will be the same.
if I understood your question correctly, you are asking that let's say multiple company codes are there and
Yeah.
there will be intercompany transactions are there and they are using IFRS, then how they are going to manage the ledgers. That is what you're asking?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, whenever a company code is involved, default ledger will be 0L. So that means both the company code A and company code B, that is by default, they are going to connected with the leading ledger because leading ledger is default for all company codes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say one company code is 1100. This is US based. Another company code is 1200. This is UK based. Okay, and leading ledger is a default ledger which is there for both the company code. Now, in this case, as both there are two company codes, so two company code means definitely grouping will be there, consolidation will be there. So in that case, this 0L should be assigned with IFRS in both cases. Okay, 1100 is leading ledger default IFRS, leading ledger IFRS for UK. These two company code also having their local gaps too. So now 1100 is also having one non-leading ledger, let's say N1, and 1200 is another non-leading ledger N2. Now this N1 for their local operation point of view, this one is connected with US GAAP and this one is related to UK GAAP. So that means with non-leading ledger, they are going to manage their local operation, and for intercompany transactions and for the consolidation point of view, leading ledger is connected with IFRS. In this way, they are going to manage when multiple company code is there and intercompany transactions are required. But default ledger for all company code, it will be leading ledgers only.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. So that's why leading ledger 100% it will be there, but which accounting principle we are going to assign with the leading ledger, or we are going to take leading ledger with the local GAAP, it depends. The current example which I am showing here, this is a one company code, and under this group they don't have multiple company code. So that is why here I have assigned the leading ledger with local GAAP and another tax valuation point of view, another non-leading ledger you are using. But when you have multiple company codes are there under one umbrella or under one group, then IFRS should be the accounting principle for the leading ledger. Okay, now let me show you one asset report. This is your asset register and asset number is 1000. Now here you can see that when user is posted the transaction, user has posted the transaction. So that time automatically the transaction is recorded with my depreciation area 01, which is connected with the leading ledger, which is connected with my accounting principle local GAAP. Okay, and the depreciation area 10, which is connected with my non-leading ledger and which is connected with my tax valuation point of view. So as there is a requirement of two accounting principles we are going to follow, and asset accounting point of view, we have maintained two depreciation area. But user is not going to post the transactions separately for 01 or separately for 10. Being user, I'm just going to post a normal transaction, and I'm sure right now when you are posting the transactions related to asset, this is how you are going to post. So let's check this transaction. Because here you will find that this, if I will check my depreciation area 01, I can see the output here, the depreciation values. Okay, so depreciation values different from 7th period because asset acquired in 7th periods. April to March I am following here, October is 7th period. So from 7th period to 12th period, the depreciation values are different periodically. And if I will select depreciation area 10, so here the depreciation values are different. So that means, or same, maybe same depreciation key I have used in both the case. Or next period, okay, check the period 9 suppose, or period 8. Period 8 is 9.8, 9863. Period here 9863. Okay, let me take then another asset. $70.14, here it is. The right one I'm not getting. $143.84. Right, here you can see when I'm going to check this depreciation area, what is my 8-period depreciation? 143.84. When I'm checking this depreciation area, depreciation values are different. So that means there are two set of independent depreciation areas we have maintained because of some requirement. And this is how we have posted the transactions. This is how, sorry, we have maintained our books of account. But when user is posting the transaction, user is not going to post the transaction two different way. User is just going to post the transaction in normal way. So if you'll see the transaction, this is my transaction entry where user has posted the transaction. Automatically, as per our configuration, the transaction is recorded as per this accounting principle, as per this accounting principle, and as per this accounting principle. So this one is connected with my leading ledger, and this one is connected with my non-leading ledger. Is connected with non-leading ledger. So user point of view, there is no difference. User point of view, no special knowledge, nothing is required. User will just post an asset acquisition entry. As per our configuration, system automatically going to maintain our books of accounts. Okay, similarly, when the depreciation also will be posted, accordingly, you are going to have the data. Now here, if you'll see the depreciation posting, we are going to have two outputs. As per this depreciation, let me show you the depreciation report also. I'm just showing the user part right now, but accordingly we have to configure depreciation. Yeah, this one, depreciation machine. I kept my GL account is same 7018, and I'm checking here my leading ledger 0L. And I can see the depreciation value which is recorded here 241.10. Okay, so this is related to leading ledger and the same value because we know that depreciation is related to cost calculation. So depreciation should be transferred to your cost calculation, means it should be transferred to a particular department. It should be linked with a particular activities. So simultaneously, let me show you the cost center report too. Just with one activity, user has just executed the depreciation program and everywhere you are getting the output. Okay, so depreciation related to machines 69.04, which is there in the FI record, same is there in the cost center. It is there in the assemble cost center and it is there, right? So depreciation for another machines 10194. How to confirm that the source document is the same document? So if I will try to here get the source document, so right now I'm in the cost center report and I can see what is the document number here, 30,000. What is this document number here? 30,000. Okay, now if I'm going to change my ledger from leading ledger to the non-leading ledger, whatever I have configured, GL account is same 7018. I'm not getting here anything. The reason here is because I have created here two different GL accounts, one for tax valuation, because normal depreciation I will transfer to my cost of production calculation, whereas my tax depreciation I will not transfer to cost of production calculation. It is not there in my manufacturing cost. So that is why two GL accounts is required. In this case, two GL account required because one is related to or it is connected with costing, another one is not related to costing. In SAP language, if I will say, one is linked with account assignment option or cost element category linked, another one is without cost element category because tax depreciation purely only for P&L purpose we have calculated. Okay, so let me check the GL account. Tax depreciation. Okay, so here we can see the values. Now, what is the source here? Related to your non-eating ledger. Now, if I will check the 7020, let's see whether it is transferred to cost of production calculation or it is transferred to cost center or not. 7020. No, because this value we are not transferring to costing. This value exclusively we are only calculating for the FI purpose. So this is how first we have to identify the need, then only accordingly we are going to configure. So under this asset equation, this asset accounting, we are going to see how we are going to acquire the asset and externally and internally. It's not always that you are just going to purchase the asset from vendor. Sometimes we are also going to develop the asset. Many companies, anything they are going to purchase, they will not transfer directly to the main asset. First, they will transfer to asset under construction. Now here, don't think that asset under construction means some construction is going on. The policy is anything we will purchase, first we will transfer to AUC. If it is approved, then from AUC, the asset will be transferred to the final asset. Bit complex, try to understand this one. Right now, you can see this 2000 GL account is there, which is related to AUC machine purchase. The values are showing zero. No value is there because already I have completed the process. Okay, but now let's see. This is my asset report. Now let's take the GL associated with this asset. So 2000 is my asset number, and here because asset is your sub ledger, so 1 GL will be there. So let's say you have 100 machines are there. In balance sheet, you are not going to show 100 machines. In balance sheet, you are going to show plant and machineries. So that is nothing but your reconciliation account. And we need to connect one GL account, reconciliation account, just like you are using accounts receivable and accounts payable. So here you can see one GL account is there, 2002. Let's check that GL account because here I can't see anything as it's completed. This is my reconciliation account 2002. And right now I'm in the report FAGL L03, which is nothing but the GL report, which right now you are using. This value is zero because all the settlements, everything completed. So that is why this value is showing zero. But initially, when we purchased the asset and we transferred the asset first from purchased documents to asset, so that time we have transferred the values to asset. So wherever you can see the plus values are there, that times the asset was purchased. Okay, so here I can see 8,000 plus entries there. Okay, and let's find out this document number 10004. Here some accounting informations are there on premises point of view. If you know the entire process, then you can get this one. That's why comparatively on premises is like you can say Fury part or the cloud is more easy to understand without having any technical knowledge. Okay, same data. Let me show you from the Fury point of view or in the cloud. As we are working on hybrid system, so every data is also available in Fury. So I'm going to log into Fury platform. And same document I'm going to check there. Okay, so here right now, if anyone is using Fury, then you can understand this one. So here we don't have any transaction codes. So here we have the different applications are available. And I want to see the documents, which is nothing but just like we have FB03. So the Fury applications are available. Okay, and I want to see here. These are nothing but your apps. But again, I will explain this one in detail once I will go to the deployment session. And here I want to see the general entries. This is a document number 10004. This one, right? 10004. Now let's check the document 8000. Let's see the document. Last time I tried to get the details from the on premises. So there I got the informations. Some accounting informations are there. But if same informations, if I will try to get in Fiori, you will find these informations are available in easy way. So I can see here some debit credits are there. So this GL account 20022 is there, debit entry, and this one is credit entry. Okay, and here I can see related documents are available. Let's check this one. Without having any SAP knowledge, someone can understand from this Fiori report. That means in this here some other activities are there, or in this process, many things we did. So I created a purchase order. Then I converted the PO into GR. Then GR converted into logistic invoice. So this is the procurement part related to our asset purchase. And here I can see multiple documents are there. Okay, so documents I'm looking here basically the source document. So I try to get the document which is 10004. 10004 is my finance document. But this transaction not directly posted in the FI system. As we did something in the logistic, because of our integrations, I got the finance document. So source document is your logistic documents. So logistic document, we know that PO created. With PO, there will be no activity will be there, no accounting activities will be there. Then after that, GR. With GR, we have the accounting entry, but this is a non-valuated GR I processed. So with reference to GR also, accounting entry was not involved. Now I can see here, let's go to this PO document. Okay, so this PO, let's take this one. Let's not disturb this flow. Let me go to the PO from here. This is a like lengthy process, so try to get it in a simple way. So I want to see the purchase order. Okay, so this is my purchase order. So initially purchase order was created, that I got it from the flow. And this is my purchase order history. So that means here 8,000 was purchase order, means asset cost was 8,000. But initially that time I was explaining that advance also will be involved here. So with reference to this purchase, there is one advance payment done, and I can see here one document is generated. That is your accounting document. 15,000 is there, and which is 4,800. So 60% of your advance that is related to advance, because here I put the condition that is 60% advance is payable to acquire this asset, and which is 4,800. Okay, so before having the asset transaction, 4,800 was transferred. Now this 4,800 initially it is recorded with not asset, because 4,800 is not your asset. 4,800 just we paid the advance, but as it is recorded somewhere, so it must be recorded with your advance paid. So check that too. Now it's another report, vendor report. Vendor number 10010. It's completed, so it's converted into cleared items. $4,800. So that time, what is the accounting entry? Vendor advance debited, and the vendor is credited here. I mean, bank is credited here. So I'm sure this is your accounting entry, this one. Okay, so check this entry. Asset transaction not yet started. So first we pay to the vendor. Okay, and then it's a reconciliation one, not this one. 4,800 payment. Yeah, this one. Sorry, 15,000. So in PO, the 15,000 was there. This one, it's a vendor payment. So 15,000. Check this one. Vendor debit and bank credit. And simultaneously, if you go to the GL view, you will find the reconciliation entries. And when you paid this advance, you paid the advance towards what? Towards asset purchase only. So that's why that also need to be connected with your asset. User will not do anything. All this because of our configurations, automatically it will be there. User will just make a vendor payment, advance payment, that's it. And automatically you can see the entries are there. So accounting entry here, that vendor advance is debit, bank is credited, and simultaneously we have capitalized that 4,000, whatever we have paid towards asset purchase. Then back to the process. So we paid the advance, then we process the GR, then finally we process the invoice. So we have received the asset. So when we are going to process when we are going to have the invoice, that means 100% we are going to capitalize the value. So in this case, we have capitalized the asset fully, okay, which is nothing but your 8,000, which is available here. 8,000 is your asset capitalized. Okay, document type here, it is RE, and which is also available here. Check the document type here, RE. So it is a vendor document, K, vendor settlement, document RE, yeah, this one. So 51002 is your integrated documents, finance point of view. And what is the source document? Source document is this document. So with reference to this invoice, this document is generated. How to confirm? Let me check the document number 51002. Vendor report, somewhere I have opened it. Not this one. Let's close this one. 51002. I just started with one asset data. Vendor FPL. This one, right? 51002. Check this one. Now, this invoice not directly posted by any finance user. This transaction is posted by logistic user. Because of that, this accounting entry generated. So this is our vendor invoice where vendor is credited, tax component is there, then whatever you capitalize, that one is there. But what is the source? Check the source document. Source document is your this document. Last 131. This one. Now, finally, we have capitalized the asset, we have received the asset, but this asset is not yet capitalized. Means finally the value is not asset transferred to the machine because everything we transferred to the AUC. So that is why I was initially showing that AUC report. So initially, whatever the value asset purchase, it was transferred to our AUC. Then from AUC, the balance transferred to machines. I will say why the business will do these things. Instead of going for this AUC, they can directly transfer to the machines. They can do, but in this example I have taken here, that value will transfer to AUC because when business is going to capitalize the asset, let's say something is not permissible, so that should not be capitalized. Or certain their policies, like first it should be transferred to AUC. If it is approved, then from AUC the value will be transferred. So that's why here you can see 8,000 plus and 8,000 minus. Then this balance is zero. Just ignore other transactions. So 8,000 plus 8,000 minus, and this value transferred to which asset? The main asset. And the main asset is related to machine. It is 1,000. Okay, so 1,000 and its corresponding APC account 2,000. So here you can see the actual transaction is there, which is your one of the transaction is 8,000. Okay, so let's check that one. No, it's not 1,000. It is 1,001. 8,000 transferred here. And what is the source? All the logistic documents, every entire process is your source. So if you're finding this one is difficult, it's absolutely fine because systematically we have to understand the business process and accordingly it need to be configured. I'm just showing here that how it is connected with each other. So if you're just going to ignore one part, then entire business process will not be there. And in interview or in implementations, the processes will not be simple because simple things, obviously they will not hire the consultant. For all the business process which is complex, that is our job to simplify. Okay, so till now I was showing the process related to one business process, that is related to record to report, and in this we also touch some other areas too. Okay, now let me take another business process related to procurement, P2P. I'm sure you must be familiar with this one. This is nothing but your procurement to payment. So in this case, the core area is your integrations. FIMM integrations. Consultant will do the configurations. FI consultant is going to do the FI configurations and its connection, that is your integration. So when I'm saying FIMM integration, it is not related to procurement. Because just now we have seen that when we are going to purchase the asset, there are also integrations applicable. FIMM integrations includes many things, many business process, like whether you are going to purchase asset, whether you are going to deliver the goods to finished stock to the product customer. So that is also part of your FIMM integrations. But particularly when we are saying that it is P2P, that is nothing but your procurement point of view. Now, let me take here one accounts payable invoice. Let's take that query through. APL 1N, that one I'm checking here, but here no T code, so that we are going to check. Either you go to manage open line items from supplier point of view or go to the document list, which is nothing but your journal entry. Now, how I got to know that, how I got this one, that is vendor invoice. Document type. I'm sure right now you are using document type for your report analysis point of view. So as I know that is a vendor invoice integrated with MM and document type is RE. Okay, so this one you can verify when you go to ABL 1N vendor invoice. Okay, there you can see it's already payment done, so that 51,000 is not there. So I need to select all items. Check here. 51,000. Yeah, this one, right? Document type is RE. This is the on-premises report, and this one is your Fiori report. Okay, let's check this one. This is your accounting information. So we know that when it will be a vendor invoice, so GRIR account is going to debit, then your payable is going to credit or vendor is going to credit. So here tax component is there, input tax, that is debit because of configurations, and some purchase price differences there. Let's ignore that one right now. Okay, and if I'm from the accounting team, then I will get my accounting information. So I just selected here T accounting view, and because being accountant, we are familiar with the accounting point of view, right? So here I can see that which accounts payable is debit, all this information is there. Now, this transaction is not directly posted by any finance user as it is integrated one. So that's why obviously we'll find the entire process here. Check the related documents. Just now I was showing with the point of view. Okay, so PO created, PO converted to GR, invoice. Difference is last time we have purchased asset, this time we have purchased some raw materials. Okay, and with reference to that, we got the accounting documents also. If anything directly posted, then only you are going to get the accounting document. And if anything entire process is there, then we can see the entire flow. So this is related to your P2P. And once we make the payment, then payment document will be there. So this one is, yeah, this one is paid. You can see the payment is already posted. So clear items are there. Okay. This one, if I believe that if someone does not have any knowledge, then still they can understand this one. Still they can understand this one. So it is easy to understand. Comparatively, on premises, Fiori is better to understand. It is more user friendly. Once you will start using, right now, if you are using, then no need to explain. If otherwise, once you will start using it, you can compare with on-premise and Fiori. I'm sure you will love Fiori is more than your on-premises because this will be the future, the cloud one. Similarly, let me show you one customer invoice. So this is one customer invoice, document type RV. right? So your account receivable credits, account receivable is debit, sales is credit, and again, output tax is there. Here also you can see related documents are there. O2C cycle, that means sales related documents you will find here. Display flow. So everything I'm explaining on the same company code, so that everything we have configured with one company code only, right? So order created, order converted into delivery, delivered converted into PGI, then finally invoice. Now this part is your logistic. This one is your logistic, and with reference to that, we have our collection document. So when we did the outbound delivery, so with reference to that, we have one PGI document is generated. So this one is your goods delivered to customer. Now to get this output, it is not your FISD integrations. With FISD integrations, you are going to get the sales invoice related to accounting document. But this one is related to your FIMM document. This one is your FISD info, and 14001 vendor and customer invoice is related to your FISD integration, but this one is related to your FIMM integrations. And finally, once collection done, so it's my customer payment, means collection done. And for that, of course, bank configuration will be there. So at very high level, we understood the R2A process that includes many things. Then we understood the P2P process, procurement to payment. So for procurement to payment, you need to have MM configurations, FI configurations, particularly the GL configuration has to be there. Then FI MM integrations. When you need, when you are going to do the FI SD integrations, so that time you need to have the FI configurations, the SD configurations, and FI MM integrations, because this document is a result of your FI MM integrations. And with reference to that, you are going to have the accounting documents will be there. Then finally, when you will go for payment and collection, bank configurations will be there. Now, particularly bank is part of your record to report process, bank reconciliation. Payment is part of P2P, collection is part of your O2C, but bank reconciliation is part of your R2R process. Okay, so this is how it is there. Now, just overview point of view, I'm showing here the cost calculations, but I know it is like entire process will be there, cost calculation point of view. Just very high level I'm explaining. If you're not able to understand, no need to worry, because this is again vast area. Product costing and material ledger. You can see that many small projects you are going to get for the product costing and material ledgers. And in S/4HANA, material ledger component is mandatory. So that's why many companies who are earlier, they are not working on material ledger, they are implementing. So small projects or rollout projects also we will find product costing. Now, what exactly product costing? Product costing means when you are going to, again, product costing also different wings are there. So you can see here, one is your plant cost. Before manufacturing, we have to calculate the plant cost of the particular product, right? So just like you are going to prepare the budget, if you are going to manufacture 1 unit of particular finished stock, then what is our manufacturing cost? Again, this is your plant data. In advance, you are going to calculate the cost. Once the plant cost is calculated, then we are going to start manufacturing the particular product. So that is known as your cost object controlling. With reference to a production order or with reference to a batch, we are going to manufacture, because when you are going to do the planning, that time you are going to do the planning for one item. Whereas when we will start manufacturing for a batch, we are going to manufacture. So that time we are going to calculate the actual cost. But actual cost is not like just straightforward where we are going to calculate. Again, here also we have different phases are there. So we are going to calculate the preliminary cost, then we are going to calculate simultaneous cost, we are going to calculate target cost, then in end we are going to calculate the actual cost. So that's why I have mentioned here that it is estimation cost before your productions. You may take monthly data, or you may take quarterly data, or you may take once in a year data. Let's say our policy is every month in the beginning, we are going to calculate the plant cost, and in end, we are going to calculate the actual cost. So for that purpose, product cost planning is helpful. Once we started manufacturing, we have procured the raw material, we have various type of activity related cost is there, overheads are there, and now we are going to calculate your operational cost. So that is your cost object controlling. Then in end, Obviously, your plan price will be different. I mean, actual price will be different from your plan price. So we are going to capture the price difference, and we are going to settle the price difference with material ledger. We are going to settle the price difference with the COPA. Okay, just very high level, I'm going to explain this one, right? So it is sixth period data. Okay, sixth period means not June. I'm following April to March here, so it is related to our September data. So you can see here the price is calculated in the beginning that 835.86. Just ignore the other price, 835.86. This one is known as standard price. So anyone right now working on the CO team or from the costing background, you can understand. So it is our standard price, which is calculated in the beginning before manufacturing. Now I want to see that how this price is calculated. So what is the cost here? 835.86, 835.86. Okay, and how it is calculated with all this input informations. Now for a user, it is very easy. User is just going to run the program. But the cost is calculated by adding various informations. So data here captured from MM, from PP, from CO, and from FI. All the departments are involved here, or FI CO integrations, CO FI MM integrations, CO PP integrations, and CO MM integrations. So once it is everything is integrated and all, then finally we have calculated the planned cost. Means before, like it's sixth period data. So that means for the month of September, before our operations, we have calculated this cost. That is our planned cost. It is not on actual data. In advance, we have calculated the cost. If we are going to manufacture this particular product, this will be our manufacturing cost. Okay, and you can see the components. Then operation started. We started manufacturing and all. Then in end, we are going to calculate the actual price. But let's see the operations. Operations means with reference to a particular production order. So randomly, I'm going to take a production order. This is PP data. In this particular production order, 4 items we are manufacturing in a batch. Okay, and we started the operations. And before this cost calculation, the actual cost calculations, prerequisite is cost center accounting must be completed. All your activity related activities, month-end activities need to be completed. Your overhead need to be completed. So everything should be completed. Then finally, we are going to get the actual price of a particular product, not for a particular product, for a batch. So that means with reference to this particular production order, you can see here the cost is calculated. Like this, throughout the month, multiple production orders are created. Like I have 2 production orders are there. The previous one production, I mean, previously when I was showing, another production order was there. So then in end, after having all the production order, once all the operations, everything completed, then in month end, we have to find out the actual price. So first 835.86 something was there, that is your planned cost. For every batch, for every production order, we are going to calculate the cost. That is nothing but your cost object controlling, where we are going to track the actual production cost. Then in end, we need to find out, that is component of your material ledger. So again, this is a separate area. We have to find out the differences. And with this material ledger, we will get the actual price of the particular product. Once you will get the actual price, then price difference will be there. So that price difference need to be settled. So this will be transferred to your FI, this will be transferred to your material ledger, this will be transferred to your COPA too. Okay, here it's not showing, maybe not sixth period, then fifth period. Okay, yes, multiple production orders are there. So initially it was 835.86. Then actual cost is calculated 131125. It will be calculated in end. Okay, and period is fifth period, that is related to August. So once the new price is calculated, then price difference is calculated related to multiple activities, related to multiple operations, and this difference need to be settled. But this one I know, like very high level I just explained, because step by step you need to follow, then only you will able to understand. So this is one most important area from the controlling point of view, and this is not just a topic, it's a complete segment. Product costing and COPA is one, product costing one segment, and your margin analysis or COPA is one segment. Okay, so that's why I have allocated major times related to this one. Controlling point of view, cost center and all, it's simple, but cost center, internal order, these are simple. Profit center accounting, this one, product costing. So it is a vast area, product costing and your margin analysis or profitability analysis. So I hope all the areas more or less I have touched here. And once we'll start doing the configurations, or once we'll start working on the systems, then practically you will get the exposure. And for your practice point of view, like as I said, business process is important. Practice configuration documents is also important. So for every step, whatever you are going to configure, so like configuration documents, I will share. Okay, and you may follow this one. This document, like I prepared by me only. So screens are captured. You can take this one as a reference. Don't do as it is, because whatever example I have taken in this document, whatever assignment I'm going to give, that will be completely different. For every topic, we'll get the assignments that you need to complete. And in end, you are going to get the business process, 3 business process, which you need to complete for your project point of view. Okay, and accordingly, you are going to configure. So this document is just a reference for your practice point of view. Fine. So it's weekend session. So live sessions will be there. Like this is the time, standard time will be there, Saturday, Sunday. And for queries and all, weekdays also I'm available for your query. Because at that time, like it's not like any regular sessions will be there. In evening time, I'm available for queries, and it is individual. So if you have query, obviously WhatsApp group will be there. But if you have individual query, you can check with me, and accordingly, like maybe 10-15 minutes short Zoom call will be there. You can ask your queries, because if you are not going to resolve your queries, you can't proceed further. Certain things like you will be stuck. So you are, until unless it is not resolved, you can't proceed further. And I don't want like you should drag the queries like in weekend. You can ask unnecessary, your time will be wasted. So daily basis I am available. Okay, so that's it from the overview point of view. If you have any questions, please go ahead.